Hello everyone, welcome to This Week in AniTube, which may come out every week or every other week. I haven't fully decided. There will be a straw poll in the description whether or not you want to see more of this or less of this. It really only takes maybe an hour or two to make. First up, we have Hiding in Public, as he released 2 videos. One is on Angel Beats, in which it perfectly describes why a lot of people like it. Even if the story itself is a bit rushed near the end and a lot of characters didn't get fleshed out as much as it needed to, there is still plenty to enjoy about the series itself. I've always had trouble trying to explain why I like Angel Beats, but I think Hiding perfectly explains why in this one video, on why a lot of people still enjoy Angel Beats. It's actually a pretty good video. Next up is his Aggretsuko video, which is actually convincing me to watch Season 2, as one of the other reasons I forgot to mention about my Aggretsuko review is that Aggretsuko is definitely a really flawed character, but at the same time never tries to improve oneself, and in fact every chance she gets she's actually dragging herself down even more, trying to take shortcuts and everything like that to get out of it, which of course the story shows that is a bad thing to do by having all the stuff fail, but apparently Season 2 flips that on his head and shows she's trying to actually search for what her purpose is in life and trying to figure out why she does the things she does, while also adding a few more characters that seem rather interesting. It's pretty relatable to see a rich, successful person that wants to be with someone but doesn't want to get married or have kids, and apparently a lot of the other characters get a lot more depth as it explores their home life and everything like that, which I'm actually interested in seeing, especially because they explore the boss a lot more, and he becomes so much more understandable than what he was before. I always highly recommend Hiding in Public, as he usually makes really great content. Next thing in AniTube is Pedantic Romantic talking about Mordred being trans. Now, if you know me, there's only really 2 franchises I pretty much fangasm over. It's Fate and Warcraft. And Pedantic here goes and takes a scene completely out of context, thinking that calling Mordred a woman and then threatening to yeet them is her getting angry that you misgendered them. But the only way to come to this conclusion is by completely ignoring all of her backstory about how she's born in a time where women are seen as inferior, to the point that they can't attain power or the throne, and she's addicted to the idea of being a king because she thinks it's her birthright as she was born into it, and she wants to be referred to nothing else besides pretty much a knight and a king, because to be referred to as anything else, man, woman, whatever, would be seen more of an insult to her ambitions and what she's trying to achieve. It's actually worse than going up to the olden days and going up to a king and just saying, "Yo, what's up, pal?" It's just not done. It's highly disrespectful. And I'll be talking more about the olden days when I'm talking about AniNews later. But Pedantic not only doubles down, but triples down on this statement, and doesn't see a problem with doing this. For one, the more you do this, the less likely people will believe you when you say X character is trans. Which, if you really want people to see and appreciate trans characters, labeling every character as trans by completely removing all context to the situation is the worst way to go about it, because then no one's going to believe you. And if no one believes you that the character is even trans to begin with, you can't have people appreciate the trans characters that exist already. Because here's the thing, if they see you constantly wrong about many different characters when you say, hey, these characters are trans, then there will become this one character where it becomes questionable whether they are or aren't, such as Lily from Zombieland Saga. They will see, oh, you're the one saying it. Thus, this has to be out of context, or something's missing. Thus, we can't take your word or anything for you. And with that line of logic, you're just going to create more divide in the community, which it seems rather disrespectful to the characters to ignore all background or context to literally everything, to say they are something when they're not it, or, a few things, etc. like that. And plus, it just hurts your credibility in the long run. It's more of a detriment to the community if you are actually doing that. But hey, you can take my words with a grain of salt if you want. I'm just offering a bit of helpful advice. Next thing on the list, AniNews puts out a new video talking about Shield Hero, which I actually really enjoyed Shield Hero, with the exception of 5 episodes near the middle somewhere, which were really bad. So bad I almost dropped the whole series because of it. But it eventually turned back around. I really enjoy AniNews' cut content series, as it goes through and shows the differences between the manga and the anime. What happened between one versus what happened to another. It was a little rough at the beginning when he started this series, but over time he got way better at doing this series. And in this instance, it's showing what happened inside the manga to explain some of the things that happened in the anime that completely just made no sense because it's missing certain things, or it was under-explained, or it shows differences, of course. In which I really like the interpretation of the manga, and I really wish the anime of the Shield Hero was better and more like the manga instead. Minus the very end of Shield Hero from what I heard, because holy shit. Now, this video is talking about the context between the queen, the king, mine, and the shield hero Naofumi, and how they proceeded with the punishments and everything like that. Which is a very fascinating concept, in my opinion. While I think Naofumi and all of them didn't go far enough with their punishments, I do think there is one thing AniNews is completely overlooking, and that requires me to explain a bit of historical context. So, let's travel pretty far in the past. Back into history, where reputation and symbolism is pretty much everything. Now, I say Naofumi didn't go far enough, and I believe this, but to completely strip mine and the kings of their noble status and forcing them to bow to them is pretty amazing. Which, to explain what that means, is you are the king, the head of the society. You are the highest order, and you represent everything in society. The whole society is looking down at Naofumi. As king, you are the representation of everything in the society. And then, Naofumi orders you to kneel before him. This is someone who everyone in the whole country sees as beneath them. As the leader of all of it, if you kneel before them and you represent the whole country, then you are pretty much having the whole country kneel before them. And thus, you're solidifying that he is above all the country. The country that has been making fun, ridiculing, discriminating, and everything like that against him for a long time. It pretty much sends a powerful message as the strongest people in the whole country, with the most political power and everything like that, is the ones that's bowing down to you. You have them groveling at your knees. It tarnishes their reputation. It demeans the whole country. And this is why as a king, you are never supposed to bow to someone, ever really. But if you are supposed to bow, it should never be to someone that everyone sees as beneath them, because then it is like the whole country just bowed before them. And I rarely see people talk about stuff like this in Shield Hero. It's actually all over Shield Hero. Pretty much every episode has something like this. If you look at history and the historical context between everything, you will find stuff like this all the time. Now, I'm no expert in history. In fact, I talked to history professors that think I still need to keep learning to be able to nuancedly speak about this stuff. And I mean, they're correct. I still need to learn a lot of stuff. But it's like one of the many reasons I'm fascinated by Shield Hero, and of course, you know, the Fate series. But overall, the video that AniNews made is still really great, but it could have just went more into detail about those stuff. And out of everyone that does cut content videos and talks about Fate, he's probably the one I trust the most. While I don't agree with everything he says about Fate, it's usually very accurate. And is usually like a very interesting look at the series to see it in more context than it actually is. And I definitely recommend watching AniNews. The next thing is Passing of the Touch in Hunter x Hunter by Aleczandxr. Now, Hunter x Hunter, it has kindness all over it. In the first while of the video, I'm like, yeah, I already knew this. I'm just like, it's okay. And I was starting to think at first, whoa, I don't think I've ever seen a mediocre Aleczandxr video until now. But no, he came through near the end. He explained a concept that I never actually thought about in Hunter x Hunter. And the more you think about it, the more it's actually true. About how one character teaches another character to be nice for the sake of being nice, and how it has drastic implications over time, as doing one good thing here has another person doing one other good thing, which benefits them in the long run, but at the same time it helps both parties, which also goes and has them help another person, and so on and so forth. And it's just a really fascinating concept on first look that I just completely went and it's like, whoa, I didn't think of that at all. But yeah, he never really disappoints me. And the next video I'd like to talk about is Celestial Nerd's video. Now, this was a video made about the KyoAni thing that most subscribers of me probably are not going to like her channel. And you know, fair enough. I think if they keep being as creative as they are right now, they could have a decent audience and become much bigger later on. But the video I want to turn all the attention to at the moment is their KyoAni video, which is one thing that if you don't know the person at all, you can still very much enjoy this video. Because if you don't know, Celestial Nerd, she really loves KyoAni shows. This must have really hit close to home. So when you see her just completely explaining everything and how much each show has impacted her life, and to the degree that she explains them, you really get like an extreme genuine care for the shows that she's talking about. And she's definitely very passionate about what she likes. And I definitely see a lot of potential in this channel. But yeah, that is all for now. Now, I may have broke the rule that it's not been a week since some of these been uploaded, give or take. These are all just that were off the top of my head at the moment. Starting now, I'm going to be taking a list of every video I watch from this week and the next week or whatever, and putting together my thoughts on it to see if it can become a video, because I usually watch almost every AniTuber's videos, I may not do the big AniTubers because over 1 million views, everyone's probably seen them. Unless I find something interesting to talk about or something definitely wrong that I need to point out. But yeah, hopefully this has been interesting. I believe maybe part 2 will be more interesting as I will be writing down more stuff for this. I've been doing this completely unscripted off the top of my head. It should be more planned out next time. Fan art time, and today we have a lot from Gorgeous Grimac. The first one being me and Zombear arguing with each other in the JoJo poses. He's arguing from 100% Californian feels, while I'm arguing from 100% logical perspective. And our worlds are clashing, about to fight in a glorious argument. The next one he did is of me petting the best waifu, Tokisaki Kurumi. He also did the Sargon of Cod fan art you're seeing right now. Very cool. The last one he did is with all of us, and calling it the Mother's Basement Stalker Gang, because apparently if you criticize Mother's Basement multiple times, you are now officially a stalker. The next one comes from Oliver Sloth 1, and is making fun of me for a Shane Dawson tweet, so he drew me as a cat is fine too. Very cool. And that's all we have. All the links are in the description below in a pest bin. And as always, I bid you adieu. Thanks for watching.